In this video, I'm going to show you some tips and tricks on how to get your finances back on track if you've been overspending or have experienced some financial difficulties. So stay tuned because this information could literally change your life and how you handle your finances. I'm Megan, and this video is the third and final video in our Creating a Budget for 2023 series. So if you didn't watch the other two videos, make sure you go back and you check them out. We followed a step and a process to help you. In video 1, we talked about what a budget can do, why it is the key to achieving your wildest goals and dreams. In video 2, we walk step by step through how to create your budget, and I gave you a link to the budget I created over 10 years ago that I still use today. And now we're going to talk about what to do if your actual spending is way off from where your budget needs to be. What to do if you overspend or are experiencing, really tight times. So if you've ever overspent or faced unexpected expenses, you know the stressful feeling money problems can cause. So to help prevent this in the future, creating an emergency fund to cover emergency and variable expenses is one of the best things you can do. And it will help you protect your finances in case an emergency really does happen. And you can decide on a fixed amount each month that gets added to your emergency fund until you reach a goal. Or you can budget your spending and tracking your progress so that you can become aware of any of those variable expenses. But once you've taken these precautions and fit it into your budget, you'll be well equipped to avoid future overspending and emergency situations a lot easier. So here are a handful of things that I've done personally that you can do if you need to get your finances back on track. So one of the first things is sell items that you're no longer using. I was surprised at how much you could earn by bringing clothes or things that are in good shape to a consignment store. We just did this in our local town, and I normally would donate these items, but when things get tight, every bit adds up. You want to challenge yourself in the way that you've always done things. So my husband is a cable guy through and through, but slowly I was able to get him to switch over to streaming channels that had everything that we needed and at half the cost. Now, when I first called the cable company to tell them I was going to be stopping cable, do you know what they said the first time I called? You've been a customer for 5 or 6 years. We're going to cut your bill in half. So I had just for 5 years been paying the full amount when now they'll charge me half. And then it was deciding on, do I still go to streaming? What is that right amount? But you'd be surprised. You could make some phone calls to services that you use and tell them that you can't afford it any longer to see if there's any discount that can be applied. Another thing is, even if you don't have a steady income, it is still possible to save money each month. Start smaller by checking in with your current expenses to see what can be eliminated. Just little small chunks can add up over time and might even motivate you to find more cost-cutting strategies. So it's reprioritizing, cutting unnecessary things out can help put money towards the things that matter the most to you over the long term. Because the overall purpose of a budget is to set SMART goals that you can track. So keep in mind that you aren't going to make massive changes quickly. You need to take little steps when starting on this whole budget process if you want to succeed. Once you get into a routine, you can update and set bigger goals as you get a more clear understanding of what you need to do. Finding ways to get creative when saving money. So for example, I have 4 kids who are constantly asking me for money and things. Once they were old enough to help around the house and take part in our financial goals, I came up with ways that would both help them and me. I made a list of jobs that they could help me with and set a dollar amount on those things so that they could work to get the money they wanted to spend. My son this past weekend, when he wanted to buy something that I would not match the amount of money, which I do in some things, all of a sudden he's putting his snow gear on and he walked around our neighborhood asking if they needed their front walkway and their driveway to be shoveled for $10 to $15. He got 5 houses to pay him to do that. And that's a great lesson for him to learn in the things he needs to do to be able to buy the things that he wants. One of the more creative ways I started saving money was to teach my oldest how much we could save by cutting coupons and using cashback apps. I'm just way too busy to keep up with them, but I knew we could save monthly if I would make time. So instead, I told my daughter that every month that she cut coupons and scanned receipts for me into the cashback apps, that I'd add half of that amount into her savings account, into her monthly allowance. It saved me money and it helped her learn about saving money as well. And that amount ended up adding up to $15, $20 a month. Another way I began saving more money was by setting up automatic savings deductions from my bank account. And there's a bunch of mobile apps that will do this for you. One of the ones, probably one of the best ones to start this with, is called Acorn. It's the first app that I did this with. And what Acorn does is it rounds up your purchases. So if you go to the gas station and spend $9.34, the app is going to take the other 66 cents and put it into your app. Literally, that added up for me within a whole year up to about $1,000. We will put the link in the description to Acorn and also to one of my other favorite savings apps, which is Digit. Digit's probably my number one favorite for saving. And Digit, what it does is it's intuitive and it sets aside savings based on parameters that you set up in the app. And you can turn it off at any point if you need to, but the goal is to try not to. And you choose to transfer your money right back into your account if you need it. The best feature is it has savings categories, meaning you can set up goals for categories that you're trying to save for. So mine, for example, when I set it up was I want an emergency fund with $5,000. I want real estate taxes that are $4,000 to get put into that account by this date. I want to take an African safari, which is going to cost $10,000 in 5 years. And I'll show you a little peek at my Digit app because that amount started accumulating very quickly over a 3 and 4 year period. And I didn't see it when I logged into my regular account. It helped me start reaching those goals so much faster than ever before. I've also found some services that have surprised me in the ways that it's helped me save. So being a mom of 4 very active kids while running multiple businesses has made life pretty hectic and at times very unmanageable. I started using apps that would save me time, like Instacart, where someone at the grocery store does the shopping for me and I simply pick up my groceries when they're ready. By doing this, I discovered I spent less money on food than if I went to the store and did the shopping myself. My grocery bills literally now are about $100 to $150 less than when I went into the store, and it costs nothing to have them do this to pick it up. If you use the app like Instacart to deliver your groceries, which I have used a few times, it does cost a little bit, but overall I am saving throughout the whole year. So finding apps like this, which I'll put a link in the description for Instacart if you want to try it, don't be discouraged. Don't be discouraged with any of this stuff. You have to start somewhere and you have to start with baby steps. Make a plan which takes into consideration both short-term things and long-term goals. And within time, if you stick to it, you will really start getting ahead of wherever you've been in the past. And if you'd like to hear more about personal finances, savings, real estate tips and topics, make sure to hit the subscribe button, the bell, to get further notifications on our next videos because we aren't done with budgets yet. We are going to have one more video on our channel. We are going to do a live budgeting example so you can ask questions. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that you get notified when we're going live to do our budget together so you can ask questions and get your budget in line. We had 2 other videos in this series. If you've only watched this one, go back and watch the first 2 videos. Download the Excel spreadsheet, the Google Sheet that you can use for your own. Download the apps that we mentioned in the video here so that you can start testing to see what works for you. It may take a few tries. But otherwise, I hope that this video series gave you the insight you're looking for, that you'll join us for more information on next week's video. And if you know someone who could benefit from this information, please share this video with them. Otherwise, continue to check out all our other finance, home buying, and mortgage tips and guides on our channel. And we'll see you guys next time.